Level 1. The number on your screen is 0. Not because you forgot, because you never started. You're 23 years old. You just got your first real job. The HR packet lands in your inbox on a Tuesday afternoon. Health insurance, direct deposit, and something called a 401k enrollment form. You read the subject line. You close the tab. You have rent to pay. You have student loans at $312 a month. You have $78 in your checking account. Retirement is 40 years away, and it feels like a country you have never visited and do not plan to visit anytime soon. During onboarding, someone mentions the 401k. You nod. You have no idea what they just said. You understand the word retirement the way you understand the word Antarctica. It exists. You are not going there. Your employer is offering a 3% match. That is free money, sitting on a table with your name written on it. You walk right past it. 2 weeks later, your first real paycheck hits. You stare at the deposit. It is much less than the number you calculated in your head. Much less. The math does not add up and you do not investigate why. You spend the weekend not thinking about compounding interest. 6 months go by, then a year, then 2 full years. The 401k balance sits at 0. The employer match, roughly $150 a month, evaporates every single pay period like it was never offered, because to you it was not. You ignored it so thoroughly that it did not exist. $3,600. Gone, not stolen, not lost in the market, just never collected. The system does not send you a bill for this. It does not punish you. It just keeps moving forward without you inside of it. Level 2. A coworker says something at lunch that you cannot shake. He says, "Why would you leave free money on the table?" You do not ask what he means in the moment. You nod like you agree and go back to your desk. But at 10:30 that night, you type 401k employer match into a search bar. You read for 40 minutes. You feel a specific kind of stupid that only comes from realizing something obvious was right in front of you. The next morning, you open the HR portal for the first time. You find the enrollment screen. You set your contribution to 3%. You hit submit. The confirmation loads. It took you 9 minutes. You were 2 years late, but it is done. You pick the target date fund because the description says it adjusts automatically. You trust it. You move on with your life. Next paycheck, you see the deduction. $87 gone before it reaches you. The machine has started. 3 months in, you check the balance. $1,840. You contributed $900. The rest came from the match and market movement. You feel something you were not expecting, something between pride and confusion. 6 months in, the balance crosses $3,000. The market dips 7% in 1 week. Your balance drops to $2,700. You feel a jolt of something cold in your chest. You do not move the money. You do not sell. You close the app and make dinner and go to sleep. That turns out to be the correct move. The balance recovers. By the end of year 1 enrolled, you are sitting at just over $4,000. You contributed a little over $1,000. The machine handled the rest. You stop checking every week. You stop watching the number. The strategy is running without you. You are 26. You have $4,000 in a fund you barely understand. It is still growing. Level 3. A new job offer arrives. $11,000 more per year. Better title. You accept the same day. On your last week at the old company, HR sends a distribution notice for your 401k. You have $11,200 sitting in the old plan. You have 60 days to decide what to do with it. You run the numbers on cashing it out. After the 10% early withdrawal penalty and income taxes, you walk away with somewhere around $7,700. That is 4 months of rent. You think about it seriously. You almost do it. Something stops you, an article, a calculator you find online, a number you did not expect. You do not cash it out. You choose the direct rollover. Every dollar moves to your new plan. Not a single penny lost to penalties or taxes. You sit with how close you came to destroying 2 years of progress for a short-term cash hit, and you try not to think about it too much. You start the new job. You enroll in the 401k on day 1 this time. No delay. 14 months later, the market drops hard. Your combined balance falls from $17,000 to $13,000 in a matter of weeks. You log in every single day. You read recession articles. You feel like you have no control over anything. You do not sell, not because you are disciplined, because you freeze. That is enough. Freezing is enough. The market recovers. 18 months after the drop, your balance is at $27,000. You are 32, still contributing the minimum, still only 3%, but you are inside the game now and you have stayed inside it. Level 4. You get a raise significant enough to change how you think. For the first time, you do not immediately spend the difference. You go into the HR portal and bump your contribution from 3% to 8%. Your lifestyle stays exactly where it is. The extra percentage disappears before it ever touches your checking account. This is the first real decision you make inside the retirement system. Not luck, not inertia, a choice. The account gains $800 in a month where you only contributed $490. You stare at that for a while. You look up how compound interest works. You read the same explanation 3 times, then it lands. The money makes money. The money it makes also makes money. The number you contribute each paycheck is almost beside the point. Time is doing the real lifting. A strong quarter comes. You gain $6,000 without doing a single thing. You understand now. You are 34, the balance crosses 60,000. You take a screenshot, you look at it, you delete it, you do not post it, you do not bring it up at dinner, you do not tell your parents, you absorb a rule without anyone teaching it to you. This year, for the first time, the account earns more from returns than from your contributions. Something has shifted. The machine is bigger than your input now. You are a passenger in something you started. You are 36, $90,000, slightly less terrified than you used to be. Level 5. The balance crosses $100,000. You take a screenshot. It stays in your camera roll for 2 days. You delete it. You do not post it anywhere. The silence is not modesty. The silence is discipline. You max your contributions, $23,000 per year, the IRS limit. You set it automatically and do not revisit it. This is no longer a decision you make. It is a structure you live inside. A 7% return on $150,000 is $10,500. On $30,000, it was $2,100. The math has completely changed. This year, the account adds $33,000. That is more than you earned in your entire first year of work. You let that number sit in your head for a moment before you move on. Your friends have no idea how much you have saved. You do not correct their assumptions. Not posting it, not telling anyone. That silence is the discipline. That is how this works. The market drops again. You watch 180,000 become 156,000 on paper. You feel it. You do not move. You have been here before. You know how this ends. You close the laptop and go to dinner. By 42, you are approaching 200,000. The machine handles it. Nothing changes. Level 6. Compounding is now doing more work than you are. You run retirement calculators at night, not obsessively. Periodically, with a glass of water, you move the sliders. Retire at 62 versus 67. The difference is larger than you expected it to be. The balance crosses 300,000. This is not a savings account anymore. It is a portfolio. You have opinions now. You shift some allocation toward bonds. You read 3 books on retirement investing. You follow 2 financial writers. You form a view you can defend out loud. Not because someone told you what to think, because you read, compared, and decided. That is different. The goal shifts. You are no longer building. You are protecting. The rule becomes simple. Do not break what is working. The market drops 22% over 8 months. Your balance falls from 370,000 to 288,000. You sit still. While it is down, you keep contributing. You are buying every month at a lower price without thinking of it that way. 14 months later, the balance is back above 400,000. You did nothing. That was the move. You talk differently about money now. Asset allocation, rebalancing, sequence risk. The vocabulary is yours. You built it. By 50, the balance is 440,000. You think you might actually be okay. You do not say it out loud. You are careful not to say it out loud, as if saying it might make the number disappear somehow. Level 7. The kids finish college. The mortgage has 4 years left. $3,000 a month frees up all at once. You have money that was not going to you before. The answer is obvious. You turn 50. The IRS raises the annual limit for people your age to $30,500. You hit it without hesitating. Every year now. No exceptions. No lifestyle creep. Retirement is a real conversation now. You sit down with your spouse on a Tuesday night with a spreadsheet. You talk about what 58 looks like, what 60 looks like. You have an actual target date for the first time in your life. You model Social Security delays. You factor in healthcare costs. You build in a gap estimate for the years between retirement and Medicare eligibility. This is financial planning. You are doing it. The balance crosses 600,000. Monthly gains now exceed what your first salary ever was. You sit with that fact for a moment. You think about yourself at 23, $78 in a checking account, an enrollment email you scrolled past, the void. The distance between that moment and this one is not luck. It is not genius. It is only time. The mortgage closes out, final payment made, one fewer claim on your income forever. By 58, you are approaching 800,000. Retirement is not a fantasy anymore. You used to say retirement someday. Now you say retirement in 3 years. That is the difference. Level 8. The statement arrives. 7 figures. You read it the way you would read a utility bill. 7 figures. You expected it to feel enormous. It feels like a Tuesday. You close the statement and make coffee. You are 61. Work became optional 2 years ago. You have not fully acted on that yet. You still contribute every year. The habit is so deep that stopping feels strange rather than necessary. In a good year, the portfolio earns $80,000 in market returns. Your $30,000 contribution is beside the point now. You think about Roth conversion windows, withdrawal sequencing, sequence of returns risk. You have a plan. You are executing it. Tax efficiently, Roth laddering, safe withdrawal rate, asset location. The vocabulary of retirement is completely yours now. Your monthly statement shows more than your first salary. Work became optional somewhere inside all of those years of staying in the game. 40 years. You were that 23-year-old once. $78, rent due, retirement for later. You do not resent the people who ignored it. You were them. You remember exactly what it felt like to look at that enrollment email and keep scrolling. It cost nothing dramatic, no genius required, no extraordinary sacrifice, just time and not stopping. That was all. Somewhere right now, a 23-year-old is sitting in a new hire orientation. HR mentions the 401k, he nods. He moves on. He is not worried. He does not know what that costs yet. He will.